Florida Surgeon General Dr. Ladapo has made some shocking statements about Anthony Fauci, saying he is a dishonest, self-serving political animal who happens to have scientific training. Well, most people would agree. We'll talk about that and more today on the Gateway Pundits Beyond the Headlines, brought to you by VNN. This segment is sponsored by Field of Greens, our healthy superfruit and vegetable habit. It's the only fruit and vegetable product that literally promises better health. My name's Maria Z, filling in for Elijah Schaefer. Let's start the show. Well, it's not the first time that Florida's Surgeon General Dr. Ladapo has been critical of Anthony Fauci, but his latest comments calling him a dishonest, self-serving political animal have certainly caught the attention of the global community. Of course, Florida Surgeon General Ladapo has been vocal about his concerns with the COVID-19 vaccines for some time. The Gateway Pundit reported in December that Dr. Ladapo sent a letter to the FDA Commissioner Califf and CDC Director Mandy Cohen, pressing for greater transparency about the potential for DNA integration into the human genome, a concern that could have far-reaching implications. In May of 2023, Ladapo sent a letter to Califf and former CDC Director Rochelle Walensky regarding the risks of the experimental COVID-19 vaccines. In January, Ladapo called for a halt in the use of COVID-19 mRNA vaccines. Well, recently, Ladapo joined Stay Free with Russell Brand to discuss the current state of public health in the US, and he didn't hold back when it came to Dr. Anthony Fauci. Brand asked him, "Can you tell us the lessons we can learn from the figure of Anthony Fauci?" Dr. Ladapo responded, "Maybe lesson number one is to really examine the deliverer of your information. I think a lot of people early on were just completely snowed by Dr. Fauci. But there were a few voices that could see him for who he is. And who he is a dishonest, self-serving political animal who happens to have scientific training. And we saw him. He misled people in so many ways. The whole mask thing was just epic. He was sitting in that 60 minutes interview saying no one really needs to wear one, which actually was consistent with the science because the science hasn't been supportive. And then he flipped the script and we were up to maybe 2 or 3 masks by the time the pandemic was actually starting to cool down. So you've got to look at the sources of information and really feel whether they resonate with you in terms of your connection with what feels true. And he clearly, I don't have anything against him actually, but you can look at him and he is obviously a dishonest and untrustworthy person. And we've got the full interview with Russell Brand linked there in the article. Well, we've all seen a trove of contradictory statements from Anthony Fauci over the years and his ultimate hypocrisy, but let's have a little bit of a refresher on some of his statements regarding gain of function.
I don't know how many times I can say it, Madam Chair. We did not fund gain of function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Anyway, so let me just go on about NIH lifts funding pause on gain of function research that might be anticipated to create, transfer, or use enhanced potential pandemic pathogens. I don't think this is going to be foolproof. Things are going to slip through.
So that was May 2021 versus his previous statements made in January of 2018. Let's revisit Fauci and his multiple masks.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
Should you be wearing 2 masks or 1 mask? I often myself wear 2 masks. Can we make a general recommendation that doesn't have scientific basis yet? No.
Please wear a mask.
Those are just a couple of examples of the sheer stupidity of the little man who calls himself science. Just on the topic of masks alone, he went from no masks because they're just not needed and essentially don't work to wear a mask, to 2 masks, to 3 masks, then wear a mask even if you're injected, then you don't need a mask if you're injected. Then masks are just not necessary anymore to finally masks should be seasonal. To be quite honest, no one has bothered to keep up with it anymore, and rightly so. Personally, I think that confusion was done intentionally. And which season precisely? We're not really sure. Neither is Fauci, if we're honest. No greater clown exists in the world of self-proclaimed science than this man, and we're glad Dr. Ladapo has referred to him by his correct term, which is a self-serving political animal. Perhaps the part he missed out was Big Pharma serving, but people have already figured that out for themselves, watching and laughing at this doctor for the past few years. But don't worry, everyone, the man who funded gain of function, a direct violation of the Biological Weapons Convention, who now says he didn't fund gain of function, is again funding gain of function in Colorado. He and others may not admit to that because of their new fancy term we learnt through the Pfizer disclosure recently. They now call it directed evolution. Whatever wordsmithing or double speak they may come up with to refer to it, they are trying to play God with injections that are known to cause immense harm and, in many cases, death. Why is this man not behind bars? Now, resolving to eat healthier this year was easy. Actually doing it, not so easy. Better nutrition is a key to health and longevity, and a healthy diet could even help you avoid health risks that run in your family. Field of Greens is our healthy superfruit and vegetable habit. It's the only fruit and vegetable product that literally promises better health. At your next checkup, your doctor will notice your improved health or your money back. Do your vitamins or green drinks promise better health? Nope. Each superfruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected for a specific health benefit. Some support your heart, lungs, and kidneys. Others support metabolism for healthy energy and weight loss. If you resolve to get healthier in 2024, it starts with Field of Greens. We got you 15% off your first order and free rush shipping. Visit brickhousevnn.com and use promo code VNN. That's promo code VNN at brickhousevnn.com. brickhousevnn.com.